Leo, August 10th carries an energy of revelation, confidence, and emotional awakening. The tarot suggests that today may show you something you have been unable to see clearly before. It could involve a relationship, your career, your finances, or simply the way you see yourself. You may begin the day believing that you already know what you want. But as the hours pass, something could challenge that certainty. Not in a negative way. Instead, you may discover that what you thought you wanted was only what you believed you should want. And there is a difference. For a long time, you may have been trying to meet expectations. Be successful. Be strong. Be dependable. Be the person everyone can count on. But August 10th asks you a much more personal question. What makes you happy when nobody else is watching? That question may stay with you, because beneath your confidence, there is a softer part of you that sometimes becomes tired of always being strong. You may not say it. You may smile. You may continue working. You may help everyone around you. But deep inside, you may simply want someone to ask, "How are you really doing?" Today, the tarot encourages you to ask yourself that question first. And answer honestly. If you're exhausted, admit it. If you're disappointed, acknowledge it. If you're excited about something, allow yourself to be excited. You don't need to minimize your emotions simply because you're used to appearing confident. Your heart deserves attention too. In love, August 10th can bring an important emotional turning point. If you're in a relationship, you may notice that your partner is paying more attention to you today. Perhaps they sense that something has been different. Maybe you've been quieter. Maybe you've been thinking about the future. Maybe there is something you've wanted to say but didn't know how. This is a good day to speak from the heart. Not from pride. Not from anger. Not from fear. From honesty. Tell your partner what you need. Tell them what you appreciate. Tell them what you've been missing. And most importantly, let them speak too. You may discover that they have been carrying their own worries. They may be stressed about work, money, family, their own future. Sometimes people become distant not because they stopped loving us, but because they are struggling with something they haven't learned how to explain. A conversation today could soften a tension that has been building quietly. But for some Leos, the tarot reveals a different truth. You may realize that someone has become too comfortable receiving your love without giving enough back. You are always there. You answer. You help. You forgive. You encourage. But when you need support, where are they? That question may become impossible to ignore today. And Leo, you don't have to be ashamed of needing reciprocity. You deserve it. Love should not be a performance where you constantly prove your value. You shouldn't have to compete for attention. You shouldn't have to become smaller so someone else feels comfortable. The right person will appreciate your light. They won't ask you to turn it off. If you're single, August 10th may bring an interesting romantic possibility. Someone could be attracted to your confidence. But what may surprise you is that this person might also notice the softer side of you. They may ask questions that go beyond appearances. What you want. What you've experienced. What makes you feel safe. That kind of attention could make you feel unexpectedly vulnerable. Don't run from it. You don't always have to be the one in control. Sometimes allowing someone to see the real you is far more powerful than trying to impress them. If someone from your past returns, be careful. Nostalgia can make old situations look more beautiful than they actually were. Remember the whole story, not only the best moments. Ask yourself whether the person has genuinely changed, not whether you hope they've changed. There is a difference. You don't need to repeat an old chapter simply because someone has returned to your life. Sometimes the past comes back to test whether you have learned the lesson. Career energy around August 10th is strong. There may be an opportunity to step forward. Someone could recognize your leadership. You may be asked to take responsibility for something important. Or you could find yourself in a situation where others naturally look toward you for direction. This is where your confidence becomes an advantage. But the tarot gives you one warning. Don't let confidence become impatience. You don't have to prove that you're the smartest person in the room. You don't have to dominate every conversation. Sometimes the strongest leader is the person who knows when to listen. Your ability to inspire others can open doors today. Use it wisely. If you've been thinking about starting something of your own, August 10th may bring an important idea. A business, a creative project, a social media page, personal brand, a new service, a skill you've wanted to develop. Don't dismiss the idea because you aren't ready yet. You don't have to be ready to begin preparing. Research. Write. Plan. Learn. Start small. Something that begins quietly today could become much bigger later. There is also an important message around recognition. You may have felt recently that people don't notice how hard you've been working. You may have wondered whether anyone appreciates what you do. The tarot suggests that your efforts are not invisible. Someone may be watching. Someone may be learning from you. Someone may be preparing to offer you something. Don't stop simply because applause hasn't arrived yet. Sometimes recognition comes after the work has already changed your position. Financially, today asks you to think about value. Not just how much money you have, but what you consider valuable. You may be spending money trying to create a certain image, trying to appear successful, trying to keep up with others. Today asks you to stop comparing. Your financial journey is yours. Someone else's lifestyle has nothing to do with your progress. Instead, focus on what creates genuine security. Savings, debt reduction, education, a business, a long-term investment, a reliable source of income. Build something that lasts. The cards also suggest that a financial opportunity could be connected to your creativity. Something you enjoy may have more potential than you realize. Maybe you're good at speaking, writing, designing, selling, teaching, creating videos, organizing, leading. People may be willing to pay for something that feels completely natural to you. Don't underestimate your gifts simply because you don't struggle to use them. Your natural abilities are still abilities. Family matters may also come into focus today. Someone close to you may need your encouragement. They may be facing a difficult decision. Or perhaps they simply need to feel that somebody believes in them. Your words could mean more than you realize. But remember something important, Leo. You can support someone without carrying their entire burden. You are not responsible for making everyone happy. You cannot solve every problem. And you shouldn't feel guilty when you choose yourself. There may be someone in your life who has become accustomed to your generosity. Today, you may need to create a boundary. And that boundary could actually improve the relationship. Because healthy relationships need space, respect, freedom, and honesty. You don't need to explain every boundary 10 times. A simple no can be enough. As the day progresses, your intuition becomes stronger. You may suddenly understand why a certain person behaved the way they did. You may realize why an opportunity didn't work out. You may see why a previous disappointment had to happen. Something that once felt like rejection may begin to look like protection. And that realization can be deeply healing. Maybe you wanted something that wasn't good for you. Maybe you wanted someone who couldn't give you what you needed. Maybe you were trying to stay in a situation that had already outgrown you. Sometimes life removes things before we are emotionally ready to let them go. At the time, it feels like loss. Later, it feels like freedom. August 10th may be one of those days when you begin to understand that. There is also a powerful message around your self-worth. You may have spent too much time measuring yourself through other people's reactions. If they approve, you feel confident. If they criticize you, you question yourself. If they love you, you feel valuable. If they leave, you wonder what was wrong with you. Today, the tarot asks you to break that pattern. Your worth cannot depend on someone else's mood. Someone can misunderstand you and you can still be a good person. Someone can reject you and you can still be worthy of love. Someone can leave and your life can still become beautiful. Someone can fail to recognize your talent and you can still succeed. Don't hand your identity to other people. It belongs to you. As evening arrives, you may feel an unusual desire to be alone. That's okay. Your mind may need quiet. Put the phone down for a while. Listen to music. Take a walk. Write your thoughts. Sit somewhere peaceful. Let your mind slow down. You don't have to perform for anyone tonight. You don't have to be impressive. You don't have to be productive every minute. You can simply exist. And in that quiet, something may become clear. Perhaps you know what relationship deserves your attention. Perhaps you know what career move you need to prepare for. Perhaps you know what financial habit needs to change. Perhaps you know what you need to stop tolerating. Or perhaps you simply realize that you're ready for something new. Whatever the realization is, don't be afraid of it. Change doesn't always mean losing something. Sometimes change means finally becoming who you were supposed to be. Leo, August 10th may mark a subtle shift in your priorities. You may stop caring so much about impressing people. You may become more interested in peace, more interested in authenticity, more interested in relationships that feel genuine, more interested in work that has meaning, more interested in a future that actually belongs to you. That is growth. And it may surprise you, because the person who once wanted everyone to admire them may slowly become the person who only wants to respect themselves. That is a powerful transformation. If you have been waiting for permission to begin again, consider this your reminder. You don't need permission. If you've been waiting for someone to choose you, choose yourself. If you've been waiting for someone to recognize your worth, recognize it first. If you've been waiting for the perfect moment, understand that perfect moments rarely arrive. Sometimes you simply create the moment. Take the first step, then another. You don't have to know the entire path. The road becomes clearer as you walk. And Leo, there is something especially beautiful about the energy surrounding your future. It feels as though you're entering a period where your confidence becomes quieter but stronger. You won't need to announce every move. You won't need to convince people. You won't need to prove anything. You'll simply know. You'll know when something is right. You'll know when something isn't. You'll know who deserves access to your heart. You'll know which opportunities are worth pursuing. And you'll know when it is finally time to walk away. That wisdom is worth more than attention. Before you end the day, ask yourself one question. What part of my old life am I ready to outgrow? Don't be afraid of the answer. It might be a habit, a relationship, a belief, a fear, a version of yourself. Let it go slowly if you need to. You don't have to become a completely different person overnight. You only need to stop returning to the same places that keep hurting you. The tarot message for Leo on August 10th is not that a miracle will suddenly fall from the sky. It is something deeper. You are becoming ready to recognize the miracle when it arrives. And that matters. Because opportunities can appear every day. Love can appear unexpectedly. Money can come from surprising places. Doors can open. But if you don't believe you deserve better, you may walk past those doors. Today, believe in yourself a little more. Not because everything is guaranteed, but because you've already survived enough to know that you can handle whatever comes next. You have lost before. You have started again. You have been disappointed. You have been misunderstood. You have carried things silently. And you're still here. Still dreaming. Still loving. Still trying. Still becoming. That is your strength. So Leo, when August 10th comes to an end, Don't ask whether everything changed. Ask whether you changed. Maybe you became more honest. Maybe you became more peaceful. Maybe you stopped chasing. Maybe you finally said no. Maybe you allowed yourself to hope again. Whatever it is, honor it. Because your next chapter may not begin with a dramatic event. It may begin with a quiet decision inside your heart. I will no longer settle for a life that makes me forget who I am. And from that decision, everything can begin to change.